Janine Pirro here in Washington, D.C., responding to allegations the D.C. crime data was manipulated by the outgoing police chief, Pamela Smith. That claim coming from a new House Oversight Committee report. Our congressional correspondent Bill Malugin with the latest on Capitol Hill. Bill?
Well, John, Republicans on the House Oversight Committee say their investigation concluded that this outgoing D.C. police chief was trying to make the city seem a whole lot safer than it really was, and she was doing it by allegedly cooking the books on crime statistics. So the Republicans on the committee say their investigation consisted of interviewing 7 different D.C. Metro police commanders who represent all of the patrol districts out here. That included a former commander who's currently suspended for allegedly tampering with crime stats in his own district. And these are some of the conclusions they've made in their report. Number one, they allege that D.C. Metro Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to report lower crime stats by any means necessary. Commanders testified that Chief Smith pushed them to pursue lesser charges that aren't publicly reported, even for serious crimes, and she also required certain crimes to be reviewed by her office. In a statement on this report, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says in part, quote, Chief Pamela Smith coerced staff to report artificially low crime data and cultivated a culture of fear to achieve her agenda.
You know what? This really puts bad people, black people in a bind, I'm telling you, because this just shows America that black people shouldn't be in leadership, and it sucks. Chief Pamela Smith, she was a D.C. chief. I believe she's retiring soon. She's being accused of cooking the books, meaning downgrading crimes so they won't show up on the reports for the data so it can actually make it D.C. look like it was safe. But people were in D.C. were saying it wasn't safe. People were getting mugged. People were getting beat up. Bad things were happening in D.C. This is the reason why President Trump has a National Guard in D.C. Ever since President Trump put the National Guard in D.C., D.C. has been a totally different place. People can actually walk outside and be excited to be outside and be a part of D.C. So they did an oversight committee on the D.C. crime data. They found some inconsistency. So they're alleging that the D.C. police chief was cooking the books. What's sad about this is there's people coming out and testifying. That's the tough part. How can you deny it when people are coming out and testifying that you put pressure on me to downgrade some crimes so they won't show up in the crime report? There's different crimes that are reported. There's some that are not. You know what I'm saying? It's cooking the books, man. When you know how to do the data, you can cook it in a certain way to make it look like you're actually doing your job. I believe the mayor said she didn't know anything about this. I think she's a black mayor as well. She's waiting for the report from the Oversight Committee. But this just put black people in a bad spot. Because it just shows everybody else that black people shouldn't be in leadership. Because look what they're doing. Am I saying that other people ain't doing it? For sure. But this is just, and it's tough. Democrat mayor, a black, what you call it? What is sad is even Attorney General is like, well, there are some inconsistencies in the crime data. Jean Shapiro, she's very hard, low key. It just sucks. It puts black people in a bad position. It shows that they are incompetent to run a position the right way, and it sucks. It really sucks. But one thing I can tell you is this: if Trump is on your ass, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. If he's on you, there's nothing he can do. For them to have an oversight committee and really look into D.C. and really find these things, and then you got people testifying, I think that's the reason why she's probably resigning. It's because of this. But when people come out, there's nothing wrong with having theories, but when people coming out and validating, that's tough. That's super tough.
Chief Smith's decision to mislead the public by manipulating crime stats is dangerous and undermines trust in both local leadership and law enforcement. Meanwhile, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser was asked to respond to the House Oversight Committee Republicans' findings earlier this morning. Take a listen.
I don't see any evidence of that. If the claim is, and I don't think anybody has demonstrated that the police chief directed anybody to change numbers. When the committee provides me their backup information, which they haven't, when the committee provided the report to the Washington Post before they provided it to us, highly unusual when you're talking about an audit of numbers.
And John, just moments ago, the U.S. Attorney here in D.C., Jeanine Pirro, responded to this report. She put out a statement on X, which essentially says that, yes, these crime stats were manipulated, and the manipulation of that data shows that President Trump has reduced crime here in D.C. a whole lot more than initially thought. She went on to say that what happened here with the crime stats does not rise to the level of any criminal charges or a crime, but that the D.C. Police Department has to change their practices moving forward. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, I know that before everything changed in the summer, we were all hearing, well, the crime is down in D.C., and none of us had anything to peg that to. So
Yeah.
we'll see where this goes from here. Welcome to D.C., by the way, again, Bill.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, when we talking about crime, when we talk about people in charge of the police, we need honest people. We need people that's going to do their job. If you have a lot of crime in your city and you're a police chief, report it. It shows that you're not good, and get somebody else in there that's going to do their job. Like everybody said, you got these people, a lot of these news analysts, politicians, they live in D.C. so they can see if there's crime or not. It was crazy though when Trump would say he gonna put National Guard in D.C. You had a lot of black people on TikTok saying, "Man, we need it." And then you got black people, once the National Guard was there, they were like, "Man, it's been years since I was able to walk down the street and not worry about getting mugged." If you're not doing your job, then you deserve to get fired. People need to start being held accountability for the positions that they have. Being a police chief is a big deal. If you got a lot of homicides, you're not reporting them, or you got a lot of all these things and not reporting them, you're a bigger criminal than the people doing the crimes. It's because you want that money and that power and that status to be the police chief. But if you're not doing your job, you got to get fired. See, this is the problem that I have with DEI. Some people would say this person got hired because it's a DEI hire. I don't know how long she's been there, but, you know, black female, head of the DC police chief, she ain't do the job. It ain't about her being black. It ain't about her being a female. It's about putting the right person that's qualified in the position to take care of the city. This is why I don't believe in DEI. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in people being hired because they a woman or because they are black to fill a quota. Obviously, she wasn't good at the job. If she's allegedly cooking the books and crime data, the data shows that she wasn't good at her job. So she doesn't need to be there. We need to get somebody else. I'm not saying we need to go get a white man. I'm just saying we need to get somebody in that position. Look, I live in California. We have a black mayor, and she's terrible. She's terrible. If you're not good, you're not good. But we got a white governor that's terrible too. So, and about race is about putting the right people in a position to do the right thing and to help the city thrive. See, it's so funny about a lot of these police departments. They say, we need more money. We need more money. We need more money. Then you get the money and you still got crime. So what you need the money for? To put in your pockets, put in your overtime pay. We know about that. Some of these officers making $600,000, $700,000 because 400, 500 of it is coming from overtime. A lot of y'all need to look into these police departments. And then they get these lawsuits where the police department doesn't pay for it. It's the city. LAPD asking for money. Want more money for a recruiting class, but then allegedly, they had some lawsuits ranging up to $400 million. Who pays for that? The city pays for that. We just got to get the right people in positions of power to do the right thing. That's all it is. That's the moral of this story. Get the right people in position to do the right thing. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. As always, we'll keep this thing rocking, keep it going. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Appreciate everything you guys doing. And we just going to keep it going, keep it rocking. I appreciate y'all. We gone. Daily Show coming soon.